Welcome, fellow travelers. We are here at the Lewis and Clark Boathouse in St. Charles, Missouri. This is a stop along the Lewis and Clark National Historic Trail that begins in Pennsylvania and heads all the way out to the Pacific. So this is the boathouse. This is where William Clark and his crew stopped and docked in 1804, May of 1804, to wait for Meriwether Lewis to get to this location from St. Louis. Him and his crew were heading up the river from St. Louis, and then this is where they began their journey up the Missouri River. We are going to go inside and take a look around. The bottom level has some replica boats that are operable, I guess, so we are going to check those out. And then the top level has like a museum type atmosphere with some exhibits of the Lewis and Clark journey.
At first, we were disappointed that we could not get any closer to the recreated Lewis and Clark boats, but then Ed, the museum's tour leader, surprised us, not only by giving us special access, but by sharing detailed insights about the boats and his first-hand experience reenacting the Lewis and Clark expedition. We appreciate Ed braving the cold for us. Now let's listen in.
Okay, these are the closest we can get to what the original ones look like. These were built by us at the gazebo right down there. We used these for the bicentennial. The reenacting group here did the whole bicentennial day by day. And these are the boats we used. The keelboat is 55 feet long, 8 feet 9 inches long, weighs about 8 tons, can carry about 15 tons of freight. And it needs 36 inches of water to float, which isn't very much for a boat that size. But these are river boats. These are what was used out east because you didn't have roads. You went by water. And these were, and then you have the two pirogues. Pirogue means a boat was going front, back, and flat on the bottom. And the red one is 41 feet long, and the white one's 38 feet long. Yeah, that's the ones behind you. And they only need 16 inches of water. And the average of the Missouri River averaged about 18 inches deep. At the at the time of Lewis and Clark, it was anywhere from a half mile to 3 miles wide. And it was, it was about 6 feet deep, the main channel. Here in St. Charles, where you're at right now, it's 800 yards from that road there up to the road. It was 18 inches deep where you're at now, and then 4 feet deep, the main channel is right where the railroad tracks are. But the inside, we don't exactly know what they don't have the description inside, but they know they built the cabinetry in the cabin at Wood River over the winter.
Yeah.
And the cabin's more or less a office, what we do call an office. They only average 3 to 11 miles a day, and they slept on shore. Yeah. So yeah, they moved it by using poles at this end and walking that way, pushing the boat this way, or they oared it, or they just got out in the water and they just pulled it, bardelled it.
With a warm welcome on a cold day, the friendly staff got us ready for our tour. Inside, the museum lets you journey through the Lewis and Clark expedition, explore Native American culture, wander through Missouri River habitats, and see an impressive collection of native wildlife displays. Upon entry, you are immediately drawn to a series of highly detailed dioramas. Each one captures a moment from the expedition with incredible care, miniature landscapes, handcrafted figures, and scenes that feel frozen in time. You can follow the Corps of Discovery as they haul canoes upriver, navigate rugged terrain, and interact with the native nations who shaped their journey. The Lewis and Clark expedition is one of the most ambitious journeys in American history. In 1804, Meriwether Lewis, William Clark, and the Corps of Discovery set out from St. Charles, Missouri, heading west into lands that were largely unknown to the young United States. Over the next 2 years, they traveled nearly 8,000 miles by river, horseback, and foot, mapping new territory, documenting plants and animals, and building relationships with dozens of native nations whose knowledge made their journey possible.
This is a bull boat. Lewis and Clark's men learned how to build bull boats from the mandans, constructed from a lightweight wood frame, usually willow. They were of a size such that the hide of one buffalo bull would cover it. During the return trip, 4 of Lewis and Clark's men built 2 bull boats to travel down the Yellowstone River.
The Geology exhibit reveals the ancient forces that shaped the Missouri River Valley. Fossils, minerals, and layered rock samples show the rugged terrain Lewis and Clark navigated, grounding their journey in the powerful natural history beneath their feet. The campsite exhibit recreates the daily life of the Corps of Discovery with striking detail. It gives you a grounded look at how Lewis and Clark lived, worked, and rested along the Missouri, turning journal entries into a scene you can step right into.
The journals of Lewis and Clark captured the drama of that initial and bold venture into the unknown West. Both captains and some of their men wrote in great detail for the events and discoveries throughout the expedition. The 2 leaders charted maps, recorded daily weather conditions, described previously unknown plants and animals, and recorded their insights into Indian cultures and civilizations. The early fur traders and gold seekers who played such an important role in the development of the West followed the Missouri River route, which was explored and mapped out by Lewis and Clark. Alright, so as you can see, this is Sacagawea. Well, maybe as you can see. And Sacagawea was a Shoshone Indian girl, about 16 years old, when Lewis and Clark met her at the Mandan villages in 1804. She had been captured and taken from her home near the Rocky Mountains about 5 years earlier by the Mandan's neighbors, the Hidatas. French husband Toussaint Charbonneau was hired as an interpreter to accompany the expedition as they traveled west. Sacagawea and her new baby boy also joined the men in hopes she would be of some help in acquiring horses from her tribe. In a fortunate twist of fate, when the expedition reached the mountains in 1805, the first group of Shoshones they met was led by her brother, Kamahawait, whom she hadn't seen since she had been captured nearly 6 years earlier. After an emotional reunion, she helped Lewis and Clark in getting horses for the trek across the Bitterroot Mountains. She was also a great help in getting plants and herbs for food and medicine. Perhaps her greatest contribution was a peace symbol. Because a war party would not travel with a woman and a baby, Sacagawea and her child were a sign of peace to the various Indian tribes of the Northwest. This helped make it possible for the expedition to move safely through the Indian nations. love otters, whether they're river otters or they're sea otters. They are the cutest flippin' animals on this planet, in my opinion.
The animal exhibits showcase a wildlife that shaped the Lewis and Clark journey: bison, elk, bears, birds, and many other species documented for the very first time. These detailed displays helps you imagine the untamed Missouri River Valley as the Corps of Discovery saw it. Featuring two historic dugout canoes offer a rare look at river travel long before Lewis and Clark. Carved from a single massive log, these examples date to the 18th and 19th century and reflect the skill and endurance required to navigate the Missouri, connecting you to the generations who traveled these waters in vessels just like this.
Alright, so this is the confluence of the Missouri and the Mississippi River. Kit and I have been there.
Education is a core part of the Lewis and Clark Boathouse Museum. Each year, thousands of students come through its doors for hands-on programs led by trained educators and interpreters. In the museum's classrooms, visitors can explore interactive exhibits that bring the expedition to life: touchable artifacts, natural history displays, and demonstrations of the tools and techniques the Corps of Discovery relied on. It's a space designed for curiosity, where history becomes something you can see, handle, and experience up close. These miniature reproductions of frontier cabins and early St. Charles homes offer a small-scale window into the world Lewis and Clark knew. Each model is crafted with careful detail: weathered wood, stone chimneys, tiny tools and furnishings, capturing what daily life looked like along the Missouri River in the early 1800s. As we start leaving, we step out to see one of the stars of the museum, the Missouri River, drifting slowly past historic St. Charles, a quiet reminder of the same waters that carried the Corps of Discovery west.
All right, and there's the Missouri River in the flesh.
As we exit and say our goodbyes, we took a moment to browse the gift shop shelves, books, maps, and all kinds of expedition-themed gear, and to hear a few final stories from the staff about life in and around this historic boathouse. A big thanks to Ed and the rest of the museum staff for their warmth and hospitality. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out our other videos as we mount our own expeditions around the US and beyond.
See you next time on Roadies Roam the World.